Hey, I want to talk about the suicide stuff, okay? Um, I'm trying to figure out how I can not drag this out into an hour and a half, because this is a lot. This is a lot, and I might have to even do this in parts because there's no way to cover this in 20 or 30 minutes, um, because it's so damn complicated. Um, okay. When you feel like killing yourself, this is just my humble opinion from my own damn experiences. I can't promise that, uh, some Jewish psychologist with an IQ of 180 is going to tell you the same thing. Okay, so just, you're here for a reason, so just go with this. Until I don't make sense, then forget about it. So, um, when you are feeling like you want to die, which I have, which is a snake pit I have been stuck in more times than I'd be willing to sit down and try to count. Um, it is my sincere opinion that you don't really want to kill yourself, physically, permanently. That's how it's coming out, and that's how it's translating. But that's not what it is. That's not what you're really doing. That's not what your soul is trying to do. I don't believe that your soul really wants to just say, fuck this, let's get out of here. Let's just hit the reset button. You know, um, I just don't think that's what it is. The reason you've gotten to the point of wanting to kill yourself is because you've reached your limit. You've reached the deepest, darkest depth of the ocean that you can go to, and you've hit the ocean floor. Can't go any farther. You can't get any things can't get any worse. You couldn't possibly feel any worse than you feel. So you're like, okay, well, since there's no fixing this, I should just check out. Well, there is a part of you that does want to check out, yes, but the whole of you does not want to. There are other parts of you that want to stick around in this life, to do things, to be with your children, to be with your relatives, to be with your friends, to be with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, to enjoy, the house you live in, or your dog's company, or your hobbies, the work you do, uh, the music you listen to, um, all those things. There are parts of you that do want to stick around and stay and live this life, and your soul, I don't think, wants to just check out entirely, because that wouldn't make any sense. To me, it doesn't. But I'm just speaking from my own thing. I can't sit here and tell you that I'm some kind of a damn expert, because the truth is I'm not. I'm just telling you about my own life. That's all I do on here. um, but in my humble opinion, there's a part of you that um, it's not so much that it can't cope. That's kind of what I want to say, but that's not quite it. That's not quite it. There's a part of you that is dragging ass, in the transformation process. The other parts of you are okay with it. There's one there, and then there's that one part of you that's like, no, 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 we're not going to do it. And it's like digging its heels in, and that is the part of you that you need to look at, that needs to start with understanding, needs some forgiveness from the rest of you, and acceptance. And there are people who do things that, like, let's take guilt, for example. Like, somebody does something real bad, and um, they can't forgive themselves for it. And it gets to the point where they want to kill themselves because they feel so bad about it. And a lot of us have been there. That's normal. If you've ever done that, if you've ever felt that way through guilt, or, because you did something you felt so bad about and you wanted to die, that is not bad. That is not abnormal. That's not, out of this world. That's not strange. You're normal. And it's really not as extreme as people make it. People freak out when people start talking about they're going to kill themselves. I mean, for obvious reasons, and that's normal too. But when you look deeper, that's not really what they want. They want relief from the pain, not necessarily to die. The death grants release from the pain, or so we think it does anyway. We think it does. When we get to the other side, who the fuck knows? You'd have to ask people that are already there. I don't know how you can do that unless you're a medium or you're a witch or something like that, So if you're not any of those things, we can't know. So, you don't want to, I wouldn't want you to take it that far just to get released from pain. And then you get to the other side and you're still feeling bad. Lamau, whoops. Now what? So I don't want you to do that, because we don't fucking know if that's the real solution or not. Now, there's a part of you, in my humble opinion, there's a part of you that would like to check out because it knows that it knows that would be released from that misery and from that guilty feeling or whatever, or the depression or the whatever. And some people are always angry all the time, and they want to die because they're tired of being angry at everything all the time. So we can throw that in too as a reason. But the part of you that's feeling that bad is feeling that bad because it hasn't been understood yet. Look at that part of you as its own person or its own entity, and treat it as such. Ask that part of you why it's that upset. Separate it, Sometimes it helps to compartmentalize these things, because there are different parts of you. You've got your mind, you've got your body, you've got your soul and your spirit and your whatever and whatever else, and your, all the layers of you, So let's separate them and really look at them as the individuals that they are. So look at the sad part of yourself, because you've got happy parts of yourself that want to stick around to live with your children and all this other shit. So the upset part, let's look at it. Okay, how's the upset part feeling? It feels unheard. It feels neglected. It feels violated. It feels ignored. It feels pushed around, disrespected, whatever, whatever your thing is. Why does it want to die? Because it wants that feeling to go away. Okay, that's valid. That's fair. Okay, that's valid. It wouldn't be fair to the rest of your parts if you were to go ahead and just go with that and just kill yourself, because then all the rest of your parts lose their chance to do what they need to do in life. The part of you that's going to raise your children, the part of you that's going to build this big business that's going to help people, the part of you that's going to, buy this house so that your children can have something to inherit so they don't have to bust their asses trying to find a place to live. Shit like that. There's other parts of you that have jobs to do and things to do that are important and good. And those parts of you need a chance to fucking do it. And you can't if you off yourself. Now, I've had to have this conversation with myself many, many times. That's why, forgive me if I don't sound sympathetic. That's not my intention. I'm not trying to make this sound businesslike or like I'm bored with it or like I don't care. That's not it. It's just that I've had this talk with myself so many fucking times and I'm just used to it. That's all. I would never be unsympathetic about this with anybody. If we were like really talking face to face, whatever, I'd be a lot more, in tune with you than I am right now. It's different when you're just talking to a camera. Now, that part of you that is crying out to be heard just needs to be understood. Ask that part of you why it feels that way. Well, because of this and that. Well, my boundaries are violated. Okay, well, what happened with that? And you just kind of explore a little bit. It'd be hard to do it without using somebody as an example. Like if I had somebody here I could ask questions to or something like that. But you would ask that part questions to dig deeper and deeper and get the answer, and then to find out why it's feeling so bad. And then at the same time, we'll stay with the guilt thing, because I did say that earlier. We'll stay with the guilt thing. With guilt. Okay, so why are you feeling that bad? Well, because I blah 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 blah, and that's horrible. Why did I do that? Blah blah. Okay, so we'll skip all the formalities and just get to the end point. The point here is you need to forgive that part of yourself for making a damn mistake. You made a fucking mistake. Okay? Everybody fucking makes mistakes. Everyone does that. Why are you expecting yourself to be so damn perfect? Why? But for what? Do you see anybody else doing that? Do you see anybody else being perfect? So why do you have to do it? What's making you different from the rest of them? And I don't mean this in that way that people use sometimes. I don't hear it as much now, probably because it didn't fucking work. But for years, remember when people would say they try to use that goddamn reverse psychology on people that were real fucking severely depressed and shit, and they would say, well, why do you have to feel that way, or why are you feeling so bad about it? What makes you so special? You're not special. You're not different. Are you familiar with that? Like when people used to fucking say that, that made me want to cut their throats, because that's not how you do that. I'm one of those people that has a real, or at least did have a real screwed up version, screwed up viewpoint of what normal love was supposed to look like. So when people would tell me that they were going to use tough love on me, that doesn't compute. It absolutely does not compute. You know, you're trying to put a floppy disk in a damn, CD drive. It's just not going to work. And so it's shit like that. But anyway, so what I'm saying is you should not have to see yourself as so differently from other people that you've got to put those kinds of levels of pressure on yourself to be good and to not make a damn mistake. Women especially are real bad about this. If I fuck up, everyone's gonna suffer, and that's not how it works. So, yeah, that's not how it works. What you need to do is, in my opinion, is have a little bit of compassion for yourself and have compassion for that part of you that screwed up, because it had a reason for screwing up, and it's got a reason for putting pressure on itself to be perfect to start with, and that's a whole other thing we'd have to get to another time. But that has to do with your upbringing and who taught you to have those pressures on yourself from an early age. A lot of times that can happen with the oldest child, or the child that seems to be, smarter than the rest of them or whatever. It's usually that kid. But anyway, that part of you that is struggling with not being perfect or making such a big mistake, and how could I do that? You did that because you just weren't thinking, and you were operating from where you may have been, but you were operating from your best level. That part of you, was operating from its best level, and that's it. And a lot of this has to do with acceptance. You are upset like this because you're not accepting that you made a mistake. You screwed up. It's over with now. It's already done. It's in the past. It can't be changed. Accept it for what happened, and just make a promise to yourself to try to work on not letting it happen again. Don't make a promise to yourself that it won't ever happen again, because that's not fair. That's not fair to you. Forget everybody else. It's not fair to you, because you have no idea what the fucking future holds. You have no idea what the future holds. You, in 10 years, you may be put in a life or death position where you'd have to make that move again in order to save somebody's life. So don't sit here and say, oh, it's never going to happen again. I promise it. I probably no. So that part of you needs some compassion and some forgiveness and some acceptance and some clarity. And then after that, once you get some of that under your belt, you can get past the bad feeling and just say, well, you know what? I don't have to kill myself because I'm a bad person, because that's not it. That's not the solution. The solution is to understand why I did it and to make a promise to myself to work on it. And, not let that happen again, because I've got more clarity on myself now. And the clarity is helping me understand why I did it, why I shouldn't do it again, and what I can do in place of that is conducive to my growth and expansion. And that's the direction you need to be going in. This other shit about, oh, I'm so terrible, I should just kill myself. This is, I'm no good to anybody, blah, blah, blah. But no, absolutely not. So none of that's allowed around here. Okay. You're not going to be doing any of that shit. So I got to keep it short and sweet, because this would have to be a whole fucking series all on its own, because suicide is such a fucking, is a tar baby, it's just like you try to fix it, you try to get into it and try to sort it out, and then the more you go, the messier it gets, because it's so much deeper than you see, on the surface, and but I'm telling you, the stickiness and the messiness and the way it unfolds and the way you go deeper and deeper into it, you have to do that in order to come out the other side so that you can have the clarity and and the self-compassion that you need to make it so that you never have to feel that way again. You just need to understand yourself better, that's all. You just don't understand yourself enough. That's all that is. If I had to, wrap it up in a present with a bow on it and just say, okay, it's this, it would be, you just don't have the clarity on yourself yet, that's all. If I was to simplify it, that's what I would say. And, I don't want anybody to feel like they have to die to get out, to get away from something. Because I know how that feels. And I've been feeling that. And I the first time I felt that, I was like 13 or something, or 12. At the oldest, I would have been 12. So I'm 35 now. And I'm very, 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 very familiar with how that goes. So I don't want you to feel that way, because I know what that's like, and there is a way out of it. If I can get my ass out of it, I can get you out of it. You have to be willing to work with me. You got to be willing to work with me and be honest with me, but I can walk you through that. Some of it you have to do on your own, obviously, because we're talking about you, but instead of me, but that can be, for lack of a better way to put it, that can be fixed. It can be fixed. It can be sorted out. It can be understood. It can be cleared up. And people don't realize that. All they need is a little bit of clarity and understanding on a certain situation or a certain thing about themselves. And that can lead to so many good things. So I'm going to leave it at that so I don't drag this out too long. But I hope that puts some things in perspective. I hope it brings some things into light for you. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always just, comment or find me on Facebook or whatever, message me, whatever you guys want to do. I'm all over the place. I'm on Tumblr, I'm on TikTok, I'm on whatever, WordPress, Instagram, Patreon, whatever. I'm on all that shit, so. But I'll leave it at that for now. And I may do more on this later, because this is a real deep subject, so this probably won't be the only video on this. But thank you for listening. I really, really hope that helps. And if you want to go deeper with that and you need some real answers and you want to really dive in and just deconstruct all that shit, please get in touch with me. And then you can go to my website too. It's on the, if you go to the top and scroll, it's on the About section. So, I hope to hear from you, and never be afraid to reach out to me. I'm never too busy. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm never too busy to respond back to somebody. And I'm never too busy to not be able to get you in my schedule somewhere if you need phone calls and stuff like that. And please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I know I have a lot going on right now, but I will always, always work you in. And we will put some time aside and figure it out. So, thank you.